Artie Lange Show. My first guest, a guy I've known for years now. Absolutely, on and off. Great comic. Very unique. Good guy.
I'm
Dov
trying.
Davidoff. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Artie.
How you doing, man?
It's a big question, man. Personally,
right out of the gate.
Emotionally,
right out of the gate.
I don't know how to answer it. And it's a little bit presumptuous of you to ask.
Well, professionally, it sounds good because I just read here that your book, your memoir, has been adapted.
It's inspired by my life, and and I have a part, and we'll see what happens. But I'm
directed by Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
now, how did that happen?
Knock on wood.
Do you know Renee?
Yeah, well, now I do. I mean, I read a story with somebody that I was writing, and he happened to be her partner, and he was a good friend of mine, and so
I made a movie with her. I made back in 1998, a movie called The Bachelor. I was the third lead of it. It's one of those movies that you can't believe you're actually in it. It was like a big $40 million Warner Brothers movie that Chris O'Donnell was the lead of.
And look at all the happiness that created in your life.
And I had lunch with her every day. We worked together every day for 2 months.
Couldn't be sweeter.
She was adorable. It was before she did Bridget Jones' Diary, so she hadn't put that weight on.
Yeah.
My God, her body was unbelievable.
Yeah, she's great. Still is.
I made the mistake of thinking she had like
you had a shot?
Yeah. I mean, and I asked Chris O'Donnell, I swear to you, Del, if I could take a picture of an expression on a person's face. Yeah. I said, I think I might ask Renee out. He looked at me as if I said, I just invented some new thing that can get us to Jupiter.
Right.
Because I think
he looked at you as if you said that he was a really interesting actor.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. No, but he was like, he really looked at me. I think he was afraid because it was 2 weeks into the shooting that I'd do something to ruin the production. Right, and she'd creepily hire a lawyer and walk. But she was very nice, so that's great. So she's going to direct something. Yeah. Now, it's based on your book?
Loosely. I mean, the book is a memoir, and I'm trying to figure myself. You know what it's. I'm trying to figure shit out, man.
I know.
And so
it's hard. It's hard. My book, Too Fat to Fish. They were thinking about maybe doing something with that too. And then it's like, but it's good that you actually got a deal because it's hard to leap from someone being interested and it's written by a different. Now, you happy with the guy that got to write the script though?
Yeah, he's
that's
a good
hard.
friend of mine.
Oh, good.
So I get port story credit and maybe producer stuff, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I just had a pilot. What's more boring than talking to an actor about a project?
You can't curse here.
I didn't even realize that. I'm sorry. Somebody should have told me.
I know. No one ever tells the guests
sufficiently. Yeah.
Yes, every single guest curses because I don't think anyone ever. Does anyone ever tell them?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Every single person seems to forget about it. Now you. I mean, listen. It's not boring in our case because it's sort of like our future. Like I want to know what's going on out there. Are they still making comedies with comedians?
Oh God, man! We'd have to define comedian, but it's I don't know, man. There's less stuff shooting and less stuff being produced, and the whole paradigm is shifting, and so you get in where you can, and you do the best you can. I don't know. Do you
currently have a deal?
I just wrote in a pilot and with Danny Jacobson, who did
he's great.
Yeah, we just shot it for Fox. I don't think it's going anywhere, but on to the next
Every
thing.
comic says that. It's like, it's gonna suck, it's gonna suck, it's gonna suck.
Well, I'm not saying it's gonna suck. I'm just I don't think it's I don't think it's headed I'm
sorry to punch that up by saying it's gonna suck.
Yeah, exactly.
In my head, that's what I feel like a lot of comics think sometimes.
That's how they got into the business. If you didn't hate yourself, how did you end up doing whatever?
Isn't it funny though, like you moved to LA and now you're on the road all the time. Does it make any sense to go to LA? Like if you're in LA, then you're always in Idaho.
No, I know. It's the road is it's psychologically challenging. I mean, you get good, you work material. It becomes
psychological. When you're younger, it's great, because you got to see Cleveland,
how many threesomes in do you before you realize it's a dead end? At what point do you say, it just becomes an albatross? Right? I mean, I don't know.
How many hot 21-year-old blondes from Appleton, Wisconsin? Yeah, No, I know, you're right.
And even more than that, how many can you communicate with? I mean, just the conversation is so painful getting in.
Have you had a lot of painful relationships on the road or one nights on the trying to get them out of the Hawthorne Suites rooms and to the Continental breakfast?
There's the pain, the interpersonal experience, which is painful, but then there's even afterward. I did a gig, it was somewhere on Sunday, I got back to my place and I realized I had packed her pants because I left early in the morning and it was still dark.
Her pants were in there.
Yeah, I got a Facebook message.
See, as a fat guy, that would be too big of a mistake.
No, it was just
if I'm packing a girl's pants, she's way too fat.
Exactly. No, they were tights. I thought it was a T-shirt. I didn't know what it was. But it's no.
Oh, so now you had to like keep an open line. I just would never call her back.
I got a Facebook message. We didn't exchange phone numbers, and I didn't know her name. And it's just one of those things that hit you in the face. You're like, is this the way I really want to live? Yeah, you have my tights.
No, so she had.
Hey, act Dov.
Yeah. So she had nothing to wear to leave, is what I'm saying. She had nothing to
How
wear.
about she moved in?
This was a 4-star hotel. She had a towel. No. She
What, she can't wear a robe home?
Yeah, exactly. Girl can't wear a robe. Who are you, the Pope?
That is a bad walk of shame, though.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, it's bad enough she left my room, let alone without pants. You were with that guy? My condolences.
Proof.
Yeah, no, that is. I know it is fun. Look, it beats working for a living. I mean, let's face it. I mean,
well, it depends on the work. I mean, I would take peace of mind.
True.
I'm
Would
just
you?
looking for peace of mind. Yeah. Listen, come on, you know better than anybody. What's money going to solve that shit? Once you got your mortgage paid, try and everybody that's going, yeah, I just need this. Is that all you need?
It solved nothing for me. You're right. I mean, I have figured out nothing in life. Even when I thought I figured out
No, that's
comedy.
not true.
No, I really don't think there's nothing really that I could say I've mastered to where I have some buddies who seem to have a happy marriage, who seem to, master's a strong word. But,
Okay, but what do you think that's the result of? I mean, was it filling in their own pieces of the childhood that they missed out on? Or was it just having parents that loved them enough so that they found a way to deal with themselves?
I think it was probably having a more normal existence than I did maybe growing up.
Yeah,
I think so. Because as I look back to my father, the memories of my father, he was a complete lunatic.
Yeah.
He was a really crazy person, my father. And I'm slowly, like, he was always my hero.
Right.
And, he fell off a roof working when I was 18, was a quadriplegic, died when I was 22.
Yeah.
And I was very slow to go to therapy and talk about him.
Yeah,
but now as I talk about him more, I think like stuff that I thought was normal. He was a real lunatic. And this was my role model. This was my guy.
I know, getting to the point where you can put it into perspective.
Oh, it's
No,
really
I grew
scary.
up, feeling real out of sort. My father's an uneducated Jewish business guy from the Bronx. My mother was a hippie intellectual wasp from California. And
Wow, there's a
she was on a
right
commune.
there.
Well, she was on a commune,
So
and
you
they
come
were
from a
building
pretty
an Earth-integrated...
artsy background?
What the hell's going on? My mic's out.
Is it out? No, I hear you.
You turned yourself down.
Oh, sorry,
probably
my
can.
bad.
That's very hostile.
Started talking about my childhood.
That was the best. That was the best thing ever. My mother's a hippie commune. What the hell's up? My mic's out. Very peaceful. Grew up on a commune. What's going on, my effing mic?
No, things got a little dicey.
But that's a.
Well, but she was on a commune,
Wow.
and so they were,
That's Winona Ryder type stuff.
She was spending her money. Yeah, but Winona Ryder grew up on a commune with other people in a commune. I grew up in a junkyard in Jersey trying to reconcile the idea that I was in
You were in a commune and there was no community.
There was no community. I had nobody to relate to,
That's the one thing you need.
It was like being Jim Norton at a synagogue. Who am I going to talk to?
Well, there's a sitcom. There's a sitcom.
Yeah, exactly.
A commune with no community is tough. That's tough. So that as I start to realize that, I go, this is what, what else you become obsessive with is that existential, like, this is where I'm from. Like, these are the genes I'm from.
Right,
like, like my father got to the 9th grade, was a criminal. Criminally,
sure.
he stole. This is what I might revert back to. And I was a horrible student. And you start to get depressed. That depresses you alone. Like, Boschetti, are you happy with what you come from, your loins?
My mom.
You say you don't like your father.
My mom is an amazing person. My dad's an imbecile.
We found out that Mike's
50-50.
Mike's family insults each other as if they're in a Three Stooges short.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They say imbecile all the time.
Yeah, imbecile, yeah.
Come on, you imbecile. Like one time, Mike, what happened? He tried to hit on he tried to hit on his third cousin at a wedding or second cousin?
I was really drunk at a wedding and really drunk, and I was like, who's that hot chick next to me? And Mom goes, it's your third cousin, you imbecile.
You imbecile.
She called him a blockhead and hit him with
That's what happens. If you hear more of the story, eventually someone gets called a blockhead.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're trying to figure this out. We've got to take a quick break. Are you a sports guy now?
I'm a huge fight fan, but
I know you were in Invincible. We were talking about because he's a big fan of that movie. That's a movie that's not talked about. That's a great film, Invincible.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Everybody did a good job.
It was a good movie. You know what else about movies? Everybody thinks they're so interesting. 80% of the time it's a bore. How do you like that? It doesn't mean you don't want to play a great part. Yeah, making them. Everybody.
The most boring job I ever had in my life was making a movie.
But the misconceptions are so wild.
You're right.
All right.
No, I hear you. No, you're right. It's terrible.